Good morning. This morning I would like to talk about the body. Western culture has historically had very conflicted ideas about the body. Over the centuries, it has split spirit from body into two different poles. The body in the West is generally considered to be animated by the spirit. Spirit is regarded as alive and vital. It's the core of the human being. The body, on the other hand, is assumed to be alive but unremarkable, unconscious, and unintelligent, a kind of hulk of mindless protoplasm that takes its orders from the mind. Spirit is located in the mind in this culture. We regard the world from our head. We almost never descend into the body to experience it in a full way. This is not true of all cultures. It has not been true through time. There have been many cultures who accorded the body a place of honor and cultivated acute consciousness of it. It is a neurosis in our culture that we pay so little attention to the body, are so unaware of it, and give it such a secondary place in our minds. For centuries in the West, the mind has been disconnected from the body. This arose from a variety of reasons. We ignore the body because we are afraid of the vulnerability of it and its impermanence. We are all too aware that it is subject to illness, old age, and death. We know that around the next corner, our time here could end. We know that the body could stop functioning at any moment. There is fear connected with the body. So we have constructed a reality that attempts to ignore it and just not think about it. We have migrated to the head and created a virtual mental reality. Our inclination to consider our head to be our center, the location of our self, is amplified by our technology, particularly television and movies. The internet is now magnifying the disconnect between the body and the mind. A second major factor in our attitude toward the body is the legacy of Christianity. Christian doctrine from earliest times distrusted the body because of its powerful sensual appetites. The Christian solution to these strong cravings of the body was to put it under house arrest, to try to control it completely and subdue its role in human life. It was regarded as a source of problems. Over time, Christianity identified the body with sin and made it disreputable and negative, something to be avoided if possible. This tradition supported the disconnect that was already present, arising out of vulnerability. Today, we live in a circus of confusion about the body. Most people are simply out of touch with the body. They seldom or never have experiences of the interior of it, of the aliveness and vitality and the shifting experiential states that move through it continuously. The body is more or less a dead zone. We have to be taught to re-experience our own bodies. The Sufis, in a completely different framework, regard the body as an organ not only of physical but also of spiritual experience. That statement sounds strange to our ears because we are caught in a different set of attitudes with our concept of the body, which we regard as unconscious, unimportant, and unintelligent. Because being is invisible, we must use our other senses to apprehend it. The body is available as a primary sensing organ, a type of radar that can directly experience invisible being. With a minimum amount of training, the cells of the body can be sensitized to perceive being, both within and outside the body. This practice involves reaching into space with the body, not with the mind, to sense presence. This is the key word, presence. Presence is an attribute of being. It is sensed as an energetic aliveness in space. It is palpable. It is pure livingness. We have all experienced this feeling when someone comes up behind us and stands very close. Although we haven't seen or heard anything, we know that they are there, even before we turn around. We can feel them there with our skin, through a very subtle pressure on our skin. This is exactly the experience that the Sufis are referring to when they say, sense into space and search for presence with the cells of your body. Once we have made contact with this mysterious presence, we can open to its qualities. They can irrigate our nervous system with qualities of joy, compassion, peace, majesty, depth, meaning, well-being, and many other things, including ecstasy. When this happens, it is a somatic experience that floods the organism. There is nothing subtle about it. It can be sensed and apprehended. It's a full-blown, magnificent experience. It's a feeling in the body of robust livingness. Not only that, but also a feeling of becoming numinous or lit from within. The body feels lit up with life, lit with being. When this experience occurs, which the Sufis call sa'ada, or closeness, nearness to being, it produces feelings of wonder, astonishment, and gratitude. It opens our heart. If you focus and sense into the feelings, they can bloom into intense emotions, with realization of the miracle of being alive on the surface of the earth, inside the ocean of living, invisible being. In this way, the experience, which is body-based, can bloom into something quite wonderful and unexpected. This phenomenon is difficult to imagine before you have personal experience of it. For a sense of sacredness to be generated by the body just doesn't compute in the Western framework, but it does actually happen. It is a major way that the Sufis contact being. Identification of the body as a kind of tuning fork, a doorway to experiencing invisible being, is one of Sufism's major contributions to human life. It gives us a way to validate for ourselves the presence of being in the space around us and in our interior. In this way, the body is anything but unintelligent. It is a major opening to spiritual experience. The mind sits back and watches, while the body has a direct experience of contact with being. Sufism appears to be the only spiritual discipline that uses the body in this particular way. Even Hinduism, which is the mother of us all, does not use the body to directly sense and touch being. Hatha Yoga, of course, is a highly developed physical discipline, but even Hatha Yoga does not use the body in this perceiving way. The realities of the body, its mystery and its magnificence, are completely beyond the current understanding of this culture. The body exists in different levels or realms. It's not just a form made of protoplasm, a material construction. That is only the gross body. The gross body is material, and like all material, is composed of energy. We know that our cells are clustered, living quantum particles, with electrons circling around their nuclei trillions of times a second. The incessant activity of the electrons creates the energy body, a field of energy more gossamer than the gross body. Its nature is pure energy. It is the interface with being. When we sense being in our body, it's the energy body that we are sensing and perceiving. This is being in its form as pure energy. The subtle body is a field that extends into space beyond the physical gross body. Each one of us is a set of fields. There are mystics among us who know quite a lot about the subtle body and can even see it. The subtle body arises out of the electrochemical nature of the body, out of its primordial livingness. It's much more, however, than just physical energy. It's a field of livingness that is resident in the body and animates the human. Beneath the material and energy bodies, there is a body of light that traces the physical configuration. When we receive physical and emotional wounds in the process of living, they are registered and held in the body of light. Recently, quantum physics has discovered that when a proton and an electron collide within the body, which is happening trillions of times per second, they are both extinguished while emitting a photon, a unit of light. Light is at our base. Mystics has been telling us this for millennia, and now quantum physics is validating it. There is a tension body, which is a pattern of individual contractions that holds the body in particular configurations. Many somatic disciplines today are dealing with the tension body. They are studying the connections between our beliefs and the contractions in our bodies. The tension body registers our experiences and retains memories of them. It holds our wounds. It is part habit, part wounding, and part conditioning. It is responsible for our inability to relax the body and release its agitation. Wouldn't it be wonderful to be able to totally relax and release our tension? This seems to be beyond us. The body is held in an ongoing contraction, an ongoing pattern of tensions. Part of the tension body comes from our knowledge that we must keep some reserve necessary to respond to sudden emergencies, even if it appears that there is no threat at the moment. This level of organic fear goes back to our earliest experiences as a species. The tension body can cause serious problems, even illness, because its contractions can interfere with blood and oxygen flow through the body, affecting the organs and muscles. So effective relaxation disciplines are desirable. Finally, there is the awareness body, a field of consciousness that permeates the cells of the body and extends beyond the body. It is available to sense interior states and also to sense the external fields that we are currently in. We are moving through various fields all the time. Each human carries a field, and humans together create composite fields. Fields are tangible and can be sensed. With some training and application, we can learn to perceive their qualities. They can be dense, threatening, humorous, playful, serious, and so on. After a long period of exile, of being held outside of Western consciousness, we are now turning toward the body and its wonders. We are understanding that there's a vast amount of experience going on in our bodies that we have not been aware of. The waning of traditional religion makes examination of the body more possible and more reputable. Psychology today is fully engaged in the study of the mind-body-spirit connection. The interface of these levels of human life, the way that they interact with each other and the way that they act as a unit, is the cutting edge. Trauma therapy and aggression therapy, where great work is being done, are bringing in the body. Many somatic disciplines are growing up in psychology. All of this ferment is rapidly adding to our knowledge of the body and the way it's connected to the mind and spirit. It's a wonderful time of expansion for this particular discipline. Our knowledge is growing exponentially. We are evolving toward a goal of embodied presence, a new level of human consciousness that has access to and holds both being and body in everyday consciousness.